I'm just heading up into the hills onto some dirt, and we'll do a review of the Heidenau K60 Scout tires. So I've had these tires on now for almost, well, let's see, a little over 3,000 kilometers. Okay, so we're going to go up here, going to go up to the top of that mountain there. It's called Blue Grouse. So most of the stuff I ride is kind of like this, kind of rocky, rutted, you know, that type of thing. I don't ride a lot of mud. The K60s have been surprisingly good for me. They haven't let me down yet, and like I say, I've got about over 3,000 kilometers on them, so I would know by now if there were some serious downsides. They're excellent on pavement, and on dirt, the dirt that I ride, they've been very good. On gravel roads, which is where a lot of tires will let me down, they seem to hold the line pretty well. I haven't noticed a lot of sliding out, you know, in comparison to some. And some being the stock tires, excuse me, the stock tires that come with this bike. The rear is not bad, but the front tire is pretty crappy, especially on gravel. You know, it washes out a lot. This one doesn't. And another comparison would be the Kenda K270s. They hold the line quite nicely on gravel, but they lack on the road for me. When you start getting fast bends on pavement, the side lugs on the Kenda K270s are quite soft and they flex over, and you feel that. You feel your bike move. The K270s are excellent off-road for a 50-50 type tire. But like I say, on pavement, not so hot for me. Another comparison would be the tires I was running prior to this, which is the Shinko 700s. And the 700s are, for a 50-50 tire, are great off-road. I mean, they're great on-road. On the pavement, they're awesome. When you get off-road, they're really good on this type of stuff. No complaints at all. But on gravel, loose gravel roads, you got a bit of an issue there, but not as bad as the stock front tire. On loose gravel roads, you do get some sliding out. They don't hold the track too well, but they slide in a predictable fashion. So there's that. These, however, don't have that issue. So the K60 Scouts seem to be, for me, ticking all the boxes. Yeah, so this is really the perfect ride to do this review on, because like I say, it kind of represents the type of riding I enjoy. The other thing that I should mention is that I always run street pressures in these tires, and I did also in the Shinko 700s off-road. And the reason I do that is twofold. One, I'm lazy. And two, because of the nature of the routes, you know, with all these edges and rocks and such, too easy to get a pinch flat if you're a little bit too low and a little bit too fast, low on pressure and too much speed. So street pressures avoid that, never get a pinch flat, and as long as the tire works, then it's golden. And I noticed that the Shinko 700s and these Heidenau K60 Scouts, they handle well at full pressure off-road. What I find is that because there's a lot of rubber on the ground, they tend not to skip around on rocks. You know, if you're climbing and it's rocky, a lot of rock edges and such, some tires, the back end bounces all over the place, you know, left and right, because it's slipping off the edge of rocks, because it's only got a few lugs here and there, right? But with more rubber on the ground, you got more rubber to grip on the sides to rocks. And so it tracks better, at least in my opinion, to run full pressure on a tire like this. I imagine lower pressure would be even better, but I find that I don't need it. And after all that yakking, here we are at the top of the world, top of the mountain. 1,280 meters. We started at 450, so that's 830 meters, right? So let's talk about these tires. The K60 Scout doesn't come with the deep lugs that you see on some 50/50 dual sport type tires. They say that the Heidenau K60 Scouts are pretty hard wearing, long lasting. I suspect they will be, because from what I've heard, they perform well even when they get down in tread depth. Like I say, I don't get into, you know, real deep mud and stuff like that. I go into mud for sure. Went into some muddy patches on the ride up here, and I didn't notice any loss of traction. The other thing I could tell you about these tires that is pretty important to me is it allows the bike to turn in super fast. Some tires are lazy. I once had on Dunlop D606, and oh my God, what a lazy tire that was. You know, you'd almost have to push the bike to lean it in. With these, you just breathe on the bar and you're turning, you know. Very quick, very responsive, and that's something I like very much. They're more responsive than the K270s, than the Shinko 700s, as I recall. These are the fastest turning in tire I've had. And even as they wear, they still feel that way. So if you have any questions on these tires, something I didn't cover, put it in the comment below. If you run these tires or have run them and have an opinion on them, please let us know what you think. You know, the more opinions, the better for people. Because, you know, people are always thinking, is there a better tire than I'm using? So we change, don't we? We switch from this to that. And I am, personally, I'm glad I switched to this one. I think the only reason I did was, got to be honest, being cheap. I got a 50% off deal at Yamaha. I may not be able to get that again, but I think that I would use them again anyway. Regardless. Anyway, let's go back down. I think that's it. I'm going to sign off now. Like I say, if you've got any questions on those tires, comment below. If you've got any experience with them, again, comment below. That would be awesome. You enjoy your day, ride safe, have fun, and I'll catch you on another one.